Welcome back, everybody, to Osiris New Dawn. I'm an old guy gaming, and we're going to start a new mini-series. This is probably going to be fairly short, where we're going to try and do a start on Aziel. So I've spoken with several of you guys via the comments about the possibility of doing that. My very last episode in the previous season, we also went to Aziel and just kind of, looked around a little bit and considered, I guess is the word, the possibilities of doing that. And after, reading some of the comments and corresponding with you guys, it looked like it probably was going to be a no-go because of the purple berries. It's possible, it's, theoretically possible that we could find purple berries in some of the cargo containers if we come across, like a ruins and stuff. But then we have to also figure out how to repair a biodome and then, create a planter and then plant those berries. And we're going to need soil. We're going to need sand. And, the only way any of that's going to even be possible is if we luck out and find it in the containers. And that's just leaving a lot to chance there. So what I got to thinking about is, why don't we go ahead and allow ourselves to use regular patch tape in place of the makeshift patch tape, because it's completely unrealistic that we couldn't, that we can't do that anyways, is what I'm trying to say. And even in just a normal playthrough, we should be able to take a higher quality tape and use it in place of a lower quality tape. So what I got to thinking is, okay, well, why don't we just take any tape that we loot, patch tape that we loot from those containers and, whatever we can bring with us, and I'll talk about that in a second, and substitute it for the makeshift patch tape. And the way that I would have to do that is that I have to go temporarily into creative mode and just spawn the equivalent number of makeshift patch tapes in. So, for example, if we had 10 patch tapes and we want to use those in the very early game for recipes that require the makeshift, we would take those 10 patch tapes, we'd essentially just toss them on the ground, and they no longer exist to us. And then we would go into creative mode, we'd spawn in 10 makeshift patch tapes, and then get back out of creative mode and continue on from there. So with that setup, that increases the chances of possibly doing this. There's still a lot of, we're still going to need a lot of luck, though, to really make this work. But I figured, well, why don't we give it a try? And, give it 2-3 episodes or whatever, and let's see if we can make a go of this. But if it turns out after, let's say after the 3rd episode, that I'm just banging my head against the wall and not making, any progress at all, we'll probably ditch it, and then we'll just, start over with a normal, what we'll call hardcore series on Proteus, where we'll, bump up the difficulty. But I want to give this a try. Just to see if we can actually do it, if it's even possible. Okay. So as far as other rules go, this is permadeath. So if I die, it's over. Okay. Because again, this is supposed to be just a short series. This isn't going to be a long series like a normal series would be. I can't tell you how many episodes it'll be. It'll be as many episodes as it needs to be until we reach our end goal. And our end goal is to make a Corsair and fly off of Aziel. And once we've left Aziel via the Corsair that we've made, then the series is over at that point, because then it would just be a normal playthrough. We'd go back down to Proteus and do all the stuff that you would normally do anyway. Okay, so that's what we're going to try. And again, I'm not promising you at all that this is going to be successful. It might be a huge epic failure, but I want to give myself at least 3 episodes to try and make it work. The other thing that I want to point out to everybody is that in these very early episodes, there's going to be a hell of a lot of me just walking around on Aziel trying to find, resources and that sort of thing. And so I'm probably going to speed those sequences up, probably at very high speed, because I don't want to just cut it, because some of you, are probably going to want to verify, if you will, that that I've done this legit, and I get that. But there's just going to be a lot of it. So I'm probably just going to, speed it up very quickly so you can still see that I'm legitimately walking around looking for resources. But I mean, we can only watch so much of that, right? And, I only have so much commentary that I can talk about while all that's happening too. So, just want to set that, that expectation right up front. And let's see, I think that's really all we need to do. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on Proteus, and we're going to loot. We're going to salvage the pod and everything in the crash area. We're going to loot everything that's not natural. In other words, if it's like stone or plants on Proteus, that stuff's all off limits because we're essentially assuming that we've crash landed on Aziel. So anything man-made, we'll say we can loot in that vicinity, but we can't loot anything natural. No plants, no harvesting of meat or anything like that. We'll get that, and then I'll just do some admin magic to get myself to Aziel, and then we'll start from there. Okay, so with that being said, let's go ahead and start a new player. Oh, by the way, I'm still going to stay on experimental for this just because experimental gets updated so much more frequently than stable does. And, the last couple times I've tried to do a stable series, they end up coming up with, 2, 3, 4, 5 even experimental updates in that time. With fixes and new features that I'm missing out on because I'm on the stable. So, I might for the foreseeable future just stay on experimental moving forward. Anyways, okay, so enough said about that. So what we want to do is combat for this playthrough is going to be the least most important skill. Okay, we're going to avoid combat as much as we can. And so what we really are going to have to rely upon is science and engineering. But the problem is we don't have anything that reduces combat and equally increases science and engineering. So what science is going to give us early on is better food metabolism, metabolizing, I guess is the word, so that way we don't have to eat and drink as much. That's going to be really important. And if we can actually get to a point where we can start to grow food, science is going to help with that too. Engineering is going to help us very early on with more efficient hovering and more efficient salvaging. So I'm kind of thinking I'd like to favor engineering a little bit more for the very early game, but we need science too. So I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, if we go Ranger, we got the equally distributed 10 points. If we go Engineering, that means we could put 1 or 2 more skills into Engineering and not quite as many. You know what? We're going to do Engineer. I think we're going to try it as Engineer. Okay, so that's settled. All right, let's see. We're going to be on a very white-looking planet, so let's make our suit dark. But we also, we're going to kind of let's see. That's already like, or gray rather. Detail. What about glow? Just make that, I don't know. Let's go red. Let's go with a red glow because why the hell not, right? And secondary, let's make this darker too. It's not making a huge difference though. But what I was saying is we're going to be on a really white planet. So I kind of wanted to almost go with a camouflage look, but that means we're going to have to go back to here then. And if we just kind of make everything white-ish. Yeah, I guess that's probably as close as we're going to get to camouflage. And, let's just make the white light, the light white too. Okay, sometimes my mouth just doesn't want to work right. This doesn't give us a pure white here, so that's as light as we can go. Okay, so yeah, we'll just kind of go with a camouflage look for, for the snow planet. And yeah, all right, cool. We're not going to change any of this stuff. Now, we're going to do this a little differently too. The very early game is the most important part of this playthrough. Normally, I would only put a couple of points into speed, but because we are going to be on foot for probably the majority of this series, I'm going to actually put, say, 4 points into speed. Normally, I'd only put 2, but I'm going to put 4 in just so we can move a little faster. We want to also prioritize health, and we want to prioritize stamina. I'm not going to put anything into strength right now, okay? And that's just because here again, we've got to move, we've got to survive, and we need enough energy to do that effectively. I know this is going to be a pain in the ass when we start getting encumbered, but remember, we're not focused on combat, and we're going to be lean and mean early on, so I'm not going to be gathering a whole shitload of stuff either. So I think that's what we're going to go with our stat points. Okay, let's confirm that. Now, skill points. We can't take the recycling ones immediately because they're pretty expensive. We could actually do low-tech recycling right away, but I think what's going to be more important to us immediately right out of the chute is the hover boosting in particular, because remember, we've got to traverse a very large playfield. And Aziel, too, by the way, is much larger than Proteus. It is. And the way you can tell that is if you look at the map, it still brings up the topography of Proteus even when you're on Aziel. But if you go, start going further north, south, east, or west in any direction, you'll eventually get off the topography, but you're still in the playfield. So it's a much larger place. So efficiency of movement is going to be hugely important to us. So we have to take salvage faster, which isn't a bad one either. But I'm going to, I want to go for these increased hover options as quickly as possible. So we're going to fast track these because I have no boosters. So we're relying upon just the default, hover of our suit. Okay, so that takes care of our engineering points. Well, we do have 7 more. What is this? Craft faster. Yeah, see, that's not really that useful to us at this point. It's really, I want to get to these as quickly as possible. And because I want to get to those as quickly as possible, I think I'm going to save the rest of our points so we can fast track the hovering, okay? All right, so combat doesn't matter a whole lot to us, but we have to take, we want to go into both of these, and so let's just take them, what we can for now. We want to get, of course, increased mining damage. That's going to be important, and tool durability too, but not the highest priority right now. Okay, so now we have to take this one for sure. We want to metabolize food better, but we also want to metabolize water better too. So we're going to immediately, as soon as we get more points, go up here and then also continue down here too, for starters with science. All right, that pretty much gets all of our points taken care of. Let's confirm that. We're going to do OG as usual. Confirm that. I am going to keep this on normal difficulty, guys, because this is not by any stretch of the imagination going to be a walk in the park. I think if we put this on extreme, it would probably be impossible. I don't know. Let's just see how things go with normal, and then, if it turns out that it's easier than I think, than I'm thinking it's going to be, then maybe we could try this again in the future with a, with the harder difficulty. Okay, on the off chance that some of you who are watching have never seen the intro video, I'll go ahead and play it. The rest of you just fast forward to when we crash land on the planet. Okay, is it going to load or is it going to freeze up? It's going to freeze up. See, they said they fixed that in the last polish patch, but they have not. I was having this problem earlier too when I was doing some testing. Okay, let me work on this, and then I'll meet you guys down on the planet. There we go. Took me a couple of restarts. It seems to me too that I have to whenever I've not been able to get it to load and I restart it. If I restart Steam, if I close Steam down in Task Manager and restart it, then it seems to work. I don't know if that's just coincidental or if that's a thing, but anyway. Okay, let's just do this opening sequence. Remember, we're pretending that we're actually on Aziel right now. We can't really do anything about the temperature, but, you know, we're just making the best of it here. Okay, so, first order of business. Oh, are you kidding me? A bug right off the bat? What the hell, man? Get out of here. I got stuff to do. You're not supposed to come out till night. Actually, that's not true anymore. They started doing that, but then they changed it again. Okay. So yeah, remember, I'm not allowed to harvest anything natural, only the man-made stuff here. So what I'm going to do is go around and just salvage everything in the crash area that I can salvage and pick up any man-made stuff in the crash area. But I can't gather anything natural. So no stones, no plant fibers, no berries, nothing like that. Okay, so I believe we've salvaged and or picked up everything that we can in the vicinity. So let's put these down here. We'll put the health packs here. These can go here. I'm going to swap positions with those guys. And I guess we'll put the patch tape here. So, yeah, this is what we were able to salvage. I got a little screwed on the rear piece because some of it was buried under the train. I don't think I was able to salvage all of it, but it is what it is. So, okay, so let's see here. The next thing we're going to do now is we're going to turn off all the quests. Because they're not going to pretty much be applicable at all. So let's get rid of that so it's not bothering us. It says we have a bit of an injury, but we're going to be super, super conservative on, on using medical. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to hit the / key, and I'm going to temporarily make myself vulnerable, and you'll see why here in just a second. Okay, so now we should be invulnerable. We shouldn't take any damage at all. Let's just confirm that. So if we fall from a high place here, yep, we're fine, because that would have definitely given us some damage. But that's just temporary. We'll turn it back off as soon as we get to Aziel. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to go / and then we're going to do teleport. Or no, what is it? Warp, yeah. Warp Aziel. And what that does is that puts us in space when we do that. And that's why I'm invulnerable right now, because it's, because otherwise I'd be taking damage from being in space. Okay, now what we're going to do next is we're going to go to / and we're going to do, what is it now? I think it's called Warp Origin. And that should put us on the surface of the planet. There we go. Okay. So we are now on Aziel. Okay. So we have here, let's take the invulnerability back off. So we'll just do that. Okay, so now we should be back to being able to take damage and stuff. Yep, there we go. All right, now, our most immediate need is that we need to find some frost lotus plants, because if you guys watched my last episode in my last series, we discovered that frost lotus plants are actually a very good way to heal. They provide food, water, and health, but the food and water is not really substantial, but the healing is. And so, we've got 2 big health kits and we got 2 small bandages, and that's it. So our health is our first thing we got to do. But our bigger goal is to find ourselves a crashed site, or not a crashed site, but, a ruined site that we can salvage and then eventually turn into living quarters. So that's really our bigger goal. But along the way, we need to find the frost lotus. Okay. Are we actually going to luck out and be near it? You know what, though? I think this might be that place that's already put together that we can't actually use. Maybe. Now, if you look at my mini map, in fact, if we look at the map in general, okay, so we're probably, if we look at the mini map, we're at minus 2.5 lat and 0.2 long. So we're fairly close to the center of Aziel, where we are right at the moment. So let's go over here. Is there possibly a lootable container? Sometimes you can find those next to these guys. The other thing I'm going to try and avoid doing is sprinting, just because that's going to consume, our food and water more quickly. So, we're going to try and do bunny hops with the hover. I'm not seeing the other buildings that normally would be near these things. So, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Okay, well, let's go up here. I might have seen some plants, but I'm not 100% positive. And we're looking again for the frost lily. That's what we need to find before we find anything else, really. Because we only have a limited, number of times that we can heal until we find those. So let's look over our months. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, you know what, though? Doggone it. I don't think we can use this place because it's already put together. All right, shoot. That really doesn't make sense if you think about it, but it's just the way the game works at this point. I mean, if you find a completely whole rover and a completely intact structure, why in the hell couldn't you use it? And the answer is you could, but that's just, again, just the way the devs have the game at the moment. I'm going to be very conservative with my flashlight, too, because I only have the one charge on it at the moment. That means that, it might get a little dark at times, but we got to do what we got to do to survive, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so there is nothing in here, not even a crate for us to loot. Doggone it. Okay. Yeah, this place is pretty much worthless. Absolutely no good to us whatsoever. We can't salvage it. We can't live in it. And it's just the way it is. So let's just move on and pretend this place isn't here, because it might as well not be. It's too bad we didn't, it didn't at least give us a container or two that we could loot, but it doesn't. So, all right, so we have to kind of decide where we're going to go. Most of the if not all of the frost lotus that I have found has been down low in a low valley, usually with lava around. And unfortunately, you know, we can't use the topography of the map because the topography that you see here, this is all Proteus's topography. It's not Aziel's. So we can still kind of tell where we are with our lat and long coordinates, though. But, yeah. So basically, we're further south than we are north because we're negative lat. And then our longitude is... we are further east. Yeah, we're further east. So we're a little kind of to the southeast right at the moment. So probably, I guess, our best bet is going to be to go find a canyon, preferably a large canyon and not one of the real narrow ones, and see if we can find some frost lotus. The thing about that, though, is most, if not all of the ruined structures that I've noticed when I did the flyby, you know, in the ship in the last series, those seem to be up higher in the flat areas, but I couldn't say that for sure. So, yeah, let's just start walking around and see if we can find ourselves a canyon we can drop down into. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna let my health get almost completely all the way down before we take the first medikit, because we've got to be ultra conservative with those until we find these frost lotus, and there's no guarantee we're going to find it right away. So yeah, cold is our enemy, and you know, food and water and health in general are going to be our second enemy. This is definitely going to be more of a fighting against the elements, you know, than it is against monsters, you know, type of playthrough. So yeah, ought to be interesting. Okay, well, I'm just going to walk around for a bit and see if we can locate some frost lotus. We'll probably go ahead and do some time lapse right here. Okay, I see some of the mushroom types of plants off in the distance. Those aren't going to help us with food or medical, but they do have plant fiber, and often when you see those, not the lilies, the lotuses could be around too. So let's keep looking. If we can luck out and find one before I have to take our first medical pack, that would be ideal. All right, we better go ahead and take our medical pack. Our health was just getting too dangerously low. All right, I'm not seeing any frost lotus up there, so let's just kind of keep going this way. We got some lava, so that's good. That'll help us warm up. Ooh, what do we got here? A ruined debris hut. Okay. Let's get over here and get our temper. Oh, no, it's too hot. Too hot. We need to find a place where the temperature can stabilize a little bit for us. Okay, it's in the orange right here, which isn't bad. Ideally, we want it in the green, though. There we go. Right about there is good. Okay, let's just chill here for a second. And, yeah, we can salvage that. So we got a hydrogen vent nearby, too. Let's go ahead and... It's really hot here, so let's just do a quick salvage. One of you guys talked about, you know, if I did this to set a spawn point right away, but that's a moot point, because if we die, it's game over anyway. So I'm not worried about that. So we got some extra scrap metal and stuff off of that. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and take a look-see over here. It looks like we might have some either mineral or rock outcroppings. What is this? Oh, it's a lithium deposit. Okay. That's not going to do us any good right now. So let's keep looking for frost lilies. Oh, look at this, you guys. Holy crap. We actually found a habitat, a ruined habitat already. There's not a whole lot here, but it's a start. Wow, okay. So we have, we don't have a habitat, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, this is a habitat. And is this a biodome? It is. Ooh, wow. Lucky, man. Okay, so what we're going to do, that's what I meant to say, let's go ahead and salvage first. But we're going to look in these crates, and what we find in those crates is going to make all the difference in the world if we can, especially if we can find food, berries, that sort of thing in particular. And we're also going to need glass to repair the habitat. Well, not the habitat. I mean the whatchamacallit, the biodome. And if we can get that repaired, and we can get because that unlocks the the planter bins. Then we could actually possibly get some berries planted, and if we can do that, then we have a very good chance of making this work. Okay, so let's here, let me just do the other salvaging first, because when we open the crates, man, that's going to be like a make or break kind of situation. So let me just get all this done first, because we got to get it done anyway. Okay, let's stop before we do anything else, because it just occurred to me I should be looking at skill points here. So let's see, engineering. We got 18 points in engineering, so let's just keep going this direction for the hover boost. And then for science, we don't have enough science points to do anything with that. Wow, we don't have any science points. We have to start discovering some things. And then for combat, let's go to increase mining damage, and that's all we can do. So we could do salvage faster, and I will eventually do that. But I think I still want to do this because, we're not necessarily going to be able to stay here. Hopefully we can, but it's not decided yet. It just all depends upon what we find in these crates. And yes, I am aware of my health. I'm watching it. Okay, so we have salvaged everything that can be salvaged. Now what we're going to do is, let's put this away, and I'm actually going to go into first-person view too, and let's see what we got in there. Okay, I'm going to take one of these right now since we got some, and I'm going to drink some of this right now, and then we'll grab the rest of this. Okay, we got, ooh, this is good. This is really good, guys. We actually have some soil. This is, I can't tell you how good this is. Okay, let's leave all of that there for the moment. Red berries and carrots. Okay, good, good. More water and cloth. Let's grab that, and excuse me, we have to kind of watch our weight here. We've got an intact barrel, which is really good. Some wire, medical kit, more wire, more water. Another bandage, so that's good. Let's put those down there. And some broken barrels and LCD screens. I think I'm going to leave those there for the moment. Okay. So the fact that we found soil is huge. Absolutely huge, because there's no way for me to make or get soil right now. You know what I mean? What? Really? Nothing in there? Did I already loot that? I must have. All right, we're going to leave all that stuff in there for the moment. I think we looked in there too. Okay, that's just salvage stuff. All right, well, we didn't find any purple berries, but what we did find is potatoes and carrots and soil. So, excuse me. I think the next step then is, okay, I got to think about this for a second. What do we have so far? Let's do a default sort. Okay, so we got some duralumin, magnesium, some zamok. We've got glass, but we can't do anything with that until we can make ourselves a furnace. Okay, what does it take to make a furnace? Let's go take a look at that. Utilities. Oh, we can't make a furnace until we make a workbench. Okay, so we're going to need 3 makeshift patch tape to make ourselves a workbench. All right. And did I loot any more patch tape? Oh, man, I didn't. That's all we have is just 3? Oh, boy, that's going to be a problem, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be a problem. I was hoping we would loot some more from the crates. Son of a gun. All right, what does it take to repair this? So it's going to take 2 duralumin and 14 glass, which means we absolutely... Oh, this is going to be more complicated, though, isn't it? See, we can't... I don't think we can make the bin yet because we got to make the biodome or fix the biodome up to unlock the bin, which would show up over here. Okay, so... All right, let's work the problem, people. Let's work the problem. What we got to do is we got to make a furnace first. Okay, so we got to make a furnace before we can do anything else. No, I'm sorry. We got to make a workbench before we can do anything else. We only have 3 makeshift patch tape to make the workbench. Son of a gun. Okay. Well, we have the ability based upon the rules of this playthrough. We have the ability to use our tape, our patch tape as makeshift patch tape. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go back and watch the very beginning of this video when we talked about what the rules for our playthrough were going to be. Okay? So what we're going to do is we'll probably, if we end up staying here permanently, this is going to be our yard here. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is go / and I'm going to type creative. Okay, now if we go into here, you can see everything's unlocked. And we're just going to take 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then we're going to kind of go off over this way. And we're going to drop all 3 of those tapes. They no longer exist to us because we are substituting for these tapes. Okay? But we're pretending like we're using these, which is reasonable. That's completely reasonable. It's the way it should be anyways, but it isn't. Okay, now let's go back into here and just go back to creative, and we should be back into normal mode now. So if we go into here, oh, wait a minute. How is it that I can still do all this stuff? Here, let me try that. Let me try that again. So creative. There it goes. Okay, I must not have hit enter twice or something. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so we're back to normal. And now we can make ourselves the workbench. So let's do that now. And again, I think we said we're going to set that right out here, right? I think so. So we'll just set it right along the airlock. Utilities, workbench. Turn it this way. And right here should be good.
Seek medical assistance.
Okay, so now here's the thing. The only way we're going to be able to proceed from here is we're going to have to find some more patch tape in some more crates, or find some purple berries in another ruin somewhere else here on the on the moon. So yeah, interesting conundrum, huh? Now, if we... Okay, so that just unlocked a bunch of stuff for us, which is good. Now, let's look at this again for a second. if we see, we got to be able to make the furnace to make the glass. We have scrap glass, but we don't have everything else that we need. Can I make, I can't even make a storage thing, can I? Doggone it. This is going to be tough, you guys. We just need one more piece of tape. Crap. See, I don't know if we can, I don't know if we can store stuff in these containers because I think they'll reset, which also means, now that I think about that, we're going to have to pull the food out of here because we might lose it. Okay, let's do that. Let's pull the potatoes out and the soil. I'm going to leave the rest of that in there. I know we could take the sand too, but the problem is that, you know, we're going to be seriously limited on space. And honestly, I'm not going to allow myself to re-loot these crates when they do respawn, just because that's not realistic. Even though that is a game mechanic, which kind of means we really need to pull everything out of here right now. Oh, geez, I just don't know if we're going to be able to carry it all. Well, let's do this. Let's pull everything out. Except for this. I don't care if we lose that. Or that. Because, you know, it's going to be encumbrance versus permanently losing this stuff. Because remember, we can't come back and loot these later. That's total hacks. Total hacks. Okay, so let's grab all of that. We can probably take the you know, some of this stuff and make it into whole pieces to lighten it up. And I could also, you know, salvage all the crates too. But let's go into here and we're going to turn all of these into wires and turn all this into real cloth bundles. See, we're 118% overweight at the moment, which is not good. We might have to toss a few things out, unfortunately. Like, we don't really need all these waters. I'd love to be able to store them, but I can't make a storage container for them is the problem. That gives us a nice little supply of wires and stuff like that, though. Yeah, the cold's doing a number on us, man. Minus 47 degrees Celsius right now. Damn. But again, we're going to wait until we're almost dead before we take our medipack, because we still have not found Frost Lotus. So we've got some resources here. Too bad that wasn't a frickin' purple berry, man. What the hell? It isn't, though. So, yeah, there you go. It isn't. Okay, so we could recycle our workbench. We probably should, only because we might not be coming back here. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to find another spot, you guys. A ruin. And so it's not likely we're going to come back. I'd really like to salvage these too, but we're already overweight is the problem. Well, here, let's salvage them anyway, because I don't want them tempting me, you know, to reloot them when they reset. Oh, I wonder if we could turn some of this scrap into aluminum. No, I don't think we can do that in the workbench. I think we have to do that in the forge now with the new recycling mechanic. Let's look at recycling too and just see if there's some of this stuff we could recycle to consolidate it and reduce the weight. All right, one more hit from the cold and we better take a medi. Oh, okay. We're going to take all that and we're just going to toss it because it won't let us salvage the crate when there's stuff in there. If we had a furnace, I could turn the sand into glass, but we don't have a furnace. Some of you are probably thinking that I should just be on my way, and you might be right, but I want to maximize everything we can possibly get and see if we can then consolidate again, like I said, with the recycling mechanic. And maybe we can't, but at least we'll know we tried. Okay, we better not screw around with this anymore. So let's go ahead and take... let's take some smaller bandages. That gets us... There. Okay. That's actually good, because we still have the 3 big ones, too. So that's going to help, help us survive for a while. Another thing we could do is dismantle all of these if we know for sure we're not coming back. But here again, it's a matter of not having the carrying capacity. And this is probably where I regret not putting a couple points into strength now, huh? We can't... Didn't they change it so we can't do those kind of skills anyways? Yeah, I don't think we can do that anymore. I wonder why they did it that way. Maybe, we can take what we get at the front or at the beginning, and that's all we ever get. I don't know. That seems a little odd, actually, the more I think about that. Okay, so we have completely stripped this place down except for the items that we could potentially dismantle. We are going to take the workbench with us, too, when it's all said and done, so we got to keep that in mind as well. But let's hit the recycle. Well, is there anything else I can make first? We could make a crude metal blade. Let's... no, not 15. What? Stop! What in the world? Okay. I wanted to make 1 crude metal blade. Bloop. Okay, let's drop this in this. Okay. We can make a couple crude pipes now. Do we need those for furnaces? Yes, we do. We need 2 for furnaces. Damn, we have everything except for the tape. Son of a bitch. Okay. Well, let's make 2 crude pipes right now because we know we're going to need to. Only make 2, OG. Only make 2. We're not going to bother with the stupid metal axe head thingamadoodle. I can make the crude metal blade in my own inventory, though can't... Oh, no, I can only make the stone blade. Ooh, right. Why does that keep dropping there? Oh, no, that's the dirt. Okay. Maybe we should make a couple of these just because we might not be able to repair it for quite some time. Okay, so we have a couple blades once this thing wears out. To make the blade, we need leather, so that means we have to kill some critters. What about the makeshift chisel? Yeah, we're going to need leather for that, too. The battery hydrocarbon solution. That ain't happening anytime soon. Right, so I guess that's all we can do with making things. Now, let's look at recycle. What do we get if we recycle this? Just scrap metal? Okay, oh, that gives us sand. Okay, that makes sense. Sure. That makes sense. Okay, we're 168% overweight. And we still have to pick up the workbench in all of its parts, too, before we actually leave. So let's drink this water and drop that. Those are pretty damn heavy. Let's drop this. Well, do I want to do that? We gotta lighten up. We absolutely gotta lighten up. That's all there is to it. So, we have a whole barrel. Okay, so we got that, right? If we recycle all of those, see, that got us down to 114. But that got us back up even heavier. So shoot, I shouldn't have done that, huh? I should have kept them as barrels, but it's too late now. All right, well, let's just do that. We're going to probably have to chuck some of this scrap metal, which sucks, but not sure what else to do. Let's ditch some more of these. Gosh, I hate to do this. I really, really wished I could store something, you know? But it's all about the tape, baby. It's all about the tape. Okay, here's an idea. Here's a thought. Is there anything else we could possibly recycle? What happens if we put that in there? Oh. That's a little bit better than just throwing it away, right? So we've got a full thing of water here. Let's take our... Let's take the ones that have the least amount of water in them. That's making us a little bit lighter. See, that got us down to 119. Okay, so I don't want to get rid of those. I don't see what use this is going to be to us at all. I think we're just going to eat it. Okay, let's do the same thing with this one. Okay, that got us down to 120. We absolutely have to keep this barrel. Should we part with... What does this give us? That doesn't really gain us much back weight-wise. We really need to be looking at what's heavy. I think we're going to need to get rid of another thing of water, as much as I hate to do it. Because, see, that got us down to 116. Okay. And then if we just get rid of... So hard to decide here. So that goes into scrap metal. Does this go into hinges? Requires metallurgy ability to... No, that would go into aluminum. Yeah, we better not get rid of these. What happens if we take those out? That gets us down to 103. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop a stack of these. I hate to do it. I absolutely hate to do it, but we need to. Okay, so that gets us to 93, and we're no longer encumbered. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to dismantle this and take it with us so we can set it up again in our new, the new location that we hopefully will find. So we have everything we need to remake this when we need to, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, I think we can't stay here. I don't see how we can stay here and make this work. We're going to have to find another ruin. You know, and hopefully we find more tape in that new ruin. We will remember that this is here. If I ever want to come back, you know, and recycle the frames, because we'll get Zamak and a couple other things from them, but I don't think we can afford to do that right now because we just can't carry it with us. So, yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write down these coordinates, so I know that they're there. I don't think can we put any? We can't put a marker on. Oh, we can. We can only do 2 markers though. Really? Can we name it? It just says metallic object. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna just write down the coordinates. I think it's going to be safer to do that so we know we can come back here when the time comes. All right, so we are at 5.5 lat, and we're at 7 long. And I'm just going to put down ruins that we can dismantle, because we've already salvaged it. All right. Well, we had a little bit of success here, but not the success that we needed. So, yeah, I think it's time for us to move on. One of the things that I want to do, though, is, you know, while we're still kind of in this area with these big, you know, plinths or whatever, I want to look around some more and see if we can find some frost lotus, because we bought ourselves a little bit of time, but not enough. The frost lotus is really going to be our saving grace. But, guys, we have gone quite a long time, so I'm going to have to let you go here, and we'll just pick up right where we left off in the next episode and continue seeing if we can make a go of this. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share the video, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.